Good morning, everybody. We have a sharply higher trade in the grain markets here early on Monday morning. It is 6:30 a.m. Central Time. We've got July corn futures up 14 cents at 687 and a quarter. December corn is up 7.5 at 571 and a quarter. July soybeans up 8.5 cents at 1542 and three quarters. November soybeans up 12 and a quarter at 1352. July Chicago wheat up 5.25 at 740. July Kansas City wheat up 7.25 at 710 and three quarters. Spring wheat market higher as well. If you're listening on the podcast, as always, thank you for tuning in. Really appreciate it. If you're watching on YouTube, make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you subscribe to these videos. If this is something that you're watching on a regular basis, I would really appreciate it if you subscribe to the channel, hit the like button. It would help YouTube to spread these videos around, help the channel to grow a little bit. If you need some additional assistance from me, go to my website. It is www.standardgrain.com. You can go to my website and click on Grain Marketing Plan in the upper right-hand corner. For 49 bucks a month, I offer a subscription service, which includes a whole bunch of stuff. I send out an email every morning at 6:30 a.m. Central Time. I have a text message service. I have subscriber-only videos and content, any sort of consulting that you might need. If you're looking for help with your grain marketing, capture and carry, option strategies, all that sort of stuff, certainly check that out. To get into the headlines here this morning, the markets are sharply higher overnight, and I don't know necessarily that there is one big headline responsible for that. I feel like it's mostly more of the same type headlines, kind of versus what we saw last week. Brazil's weather forecast remains dry. Moisture really continues to kind of be locked out of key corn growing areas, according to this morning's maps. You look at the maps, and it's like all the surrounding areas around the key corn growing areas are going to catch some rain, but it's like this pocket has just been insulated from any sort of rainfall, and the forecast really doesn't look very good for the next couple of weeks. So I think you'll see crop estimates continue to fall as conditions decline. A lot of groups, had been up in that 109 area for the total Brazilian corn crop. A lot of them are down to that 103 or 104. I think you'll ultimately see a lot of these numbers down near 100 or lower in regard to Brazilian corn output, barring a big shift in the forecast. And remember that estimates weather forecasts rather, are always subject to change, especially this longer term stuff. U.S. weather will be wetter this week, so I guess you could paint this as being a bullish picture. I don't necessarily see it that way, but you're going to see quite a bit more rain over the next 7 days in a pretty wide band that includes a lot of Missouri, a lot of Illinois, Indiana, Ohio, Kentucky. Those areas will see 2 to 3 inches of rain, and even more locally in some areas. Now, western areas, by contrast, are going to be quite a bit drier. Iowa, the Dakotas, Nebraska, Oklahoma, Kansas, Texas will be a little bit drier here. The longer term forecast suggesting above normal precipitation during the 6 to 10 day period. So things could slow down a little bit here, certainly. Now, we will have a crop progress report from USDA this afternoon. Corn planting is expected to be 38 to 40% complete, up sharply from 17% last week. That's a very quick pace. I'm not sure if it would be record fast, but it's got to be close. Again, rains. We did have some rain over the weekend, and we've got some additional rain in the forecast. That stuff may slow progress in some of these areas. Chatter regarding additional Chinese corn purchases continues to circulate, and this is stuff that started like early last week, and we still haven't seen any confirmation from USDA, and not anything of substance anyways. So we'll see if this stuff is confirmed here this week. A lot of this probably has to do with weather issues in Brazil. So we'll see if USDA confirms anything here. Fund traders remain heavily long the grain markets. Should be noted that private groups continue to overstate length in the corn market. They've been way off on length in the corn market as of late, the last several weeks. And there were a couple different instances where the private groups were estimating that funds were long, 450,000 or close to 500,000 contracts of corn. This is the chart at Friday's close. CFTC said funds were only long 362,000 contracts, futures only, as of last Friday. Maybe they bought an additional 13,000 after that, so 375 is the estimate at Friday's close. Guys, if you're watching on the video, I call these the fund tracker charts, and I include these in the newsletter every Monday morning. But yeah, kind of interesting that funds have not been like massive buyers here these last few weeks, and the position hasn't really changed a whole lot. COVID cases in India are surging. This is something capturing headlines kind of around the world here. New cases rose by 300,000 for a 12th straight day today. keep in mind, India's got what 1.3 billion people. We've got 331 million in the U.S. But there's discussion of a national stay-at-home order in India, and any big resurgence in COVID presents a risk to pretty much every market in the world in some way, shape, or form. I don't think we're headed that way, but it's certainly a possibility. That's a big country with some major problems right now, and a lot of the people in the medical field believe that the real number of cases is probably 3 to 5 times higher what's actually being reported officially. So something to be aware of there. Cattle market finished higher yesterday. Cash cattle was kind of more of the same, 118 to 119 in the south, 119 to 120 in the north. Box beef market was up again, creeping toward that 300 mark, and the choice box is 296.5 on Friday. In the outside markets here this morning, we've got the S&P up 23 points, the Dow's up 224, very strong stock market. Gold's up 12 bucks. We've got silver up. We've got the U.S. dollar down just a little bit. Crude oil's up 20 cents at 63.78 in the June WTI. Bonds are down. If you guys need some more information from me, again, check out my website. I will talk to you guys same time tomorrow morning.